Tariffs are not taxes. I'm surprised how many people don't see this. It's maybe I didn't see it when I was a big free trader advocate as well. It's mind-boggling to me. All right, so what is a tax? All right, I just filled up some gas because I still drive the good old-fashioned internal combustion engine. Because until Sniffy Joe and Heels Up Harris mandate me, I'm still driving an ICE. All right, so there's a gas tax. I paid the gas tax. There's no two ways around it. You buy gas, you pay the gas tax. That's all there is to it. There's nothing you can do about it. What is a tariff? Tariff are an increase on the price of imports, all right? Not domestic, imports, mind you. All right, so domestically, they don't pay an increase. Only imports pay an increase. All right, so people say, yeah, but that price increase is always led back to the consumer. I got my man Jim saying the same thing here. And I said, it's just not true. That doesn't mean it can't happen, but it doesn't mean it always happens. Far, far from it. I mean, show me the evidence of all the tariffs that we've had to start the first Congress, U.S. Congress. 1890 McKinley Act, 1897 Dingley Act, 1922 McCordney, I can't remember his name, but McCord. Show me the evidence. Smoo Hawley, show me the evidence that these tariffs increase prices every single time. It's just not there. It's just not there. But it gets even worse for the anti-tariff people. You know what a large power transformer is? It's a major thing we need for electric grid. It steps up or steps down the electricity transmission. If we don't, from voltage. If we don't have large power transformers, we are going back to the caveman times. And as a caveman financial planner, you might think I want to go back to caveman times. I don't. I like electricity. I like the luxuries of life for sure, the creature comforts. Where do we get our large power transformers from? Think we manufacture them domestically? No. 80% are manufactured overseas and imported here. And a significant portion of those 80% are from China. Now, China right now might be friendly in that regard. What if they refuse to be friendly? What if they stop being friendly? What if they say, we're not going to do this anymore, U.S., because we don't like you. We don't like your thing. We don't like the way you're doing business. We're like Mao. We like communism. What if they decide to go against us? Then what do we do for large power transformers? So what would a tariff do? What does a tariff do? Not only does it put increase on prices on imported goods, it makes domestic goods more competitive, right? Because if imported goods cost more, domestic goods are inherently less expensive relative to imported goods. That's just a fact. So what would happen when we put an increase in price on imported goods? Oh, it makes manufacturers say, you know something, to avoid these increase in prices on imports, let's open up production lines in the United States. And we've seen this happen in the 1890s, going to the 1910s and 1900s and 1910s, all over the place. We saw it happen big time. Where am I going? Right there. Yeah, right there. There's work anytime. I'm gonna hit the gym. We've seen it happen like freaking, because companies said it's going to cost me more to import from overseas than it would be to pay domestic production, domestic employees, and whatnot as well. And people say, well, does that increase the price? Not necessarily. I mean, it might, but that, again, because X doesn't mean Y happens. It just doesn't mean that. There could be some instances. My man Jim said, I made a good living off Trump's import prices on steel. Well, the issue is we want the imports to build the domestic manufacturing. That's what we want. We want to increase the domestic competition so we don't be so reliant on foreign imports. This is national security. National security is at stake. Never mind jobs as well. We need to look at freaking working people. That doesn't just mean all blue-collar people. There are plenty of white-collar people that could use these jobs too. But we need to focus on manufacturing in the United States as a measure of national security, as a measure of increasing domestic labor, increasing domestic income. and taking our reliance off our economic and political adversaries. This isn't difficult to me. And just because there's a tariff on an import from a political economic adversary doesn't inherently mean there's going to be a price increase, because a tariff is a price increase on imports doesn't mean it has to be in price on domestic. At the end of the day, it's about national security. Without large power transformers, like this was exactly what happened in Germany, man. Once the freaking Russia thing, they're relying because they got rid of all their nukes, idiots. They went green, idiots. And then the Russia war, they said, we're going to show you Russia. And then Germany's like, well, what's happening to Germany right now? They can't afford their supply, the manufacturing anymore, because the price of electricity is through the roof, because they're so heavily reliant on Russian natural gas. And then, not mine, stupid wind and solar. Because wind and solar doesn't do anything. So Germany's like, literally, the production is going out of business. They can't afford it because they were so heavily reliant on imports. Oh my, what's going on in the UK? So heavily reliant on imports that when the freaking import producers say, yeah, we got you up against it. It's good in theory. It's good. My man, the other guy says, you don't have a basic understanding of economics. Not a basic understanding of your economics. That's doggone right, because you think tariffs are inherently attacked. Not this, somebody else, a big lib who emails me on occasion. And I'm just like, first of all, you have no evidence that tariffs are always and everywhere a tax. We just don't have that. Part two of that, tariffs inherently aren't a tax because you can avoid a tax by not buying imported goods. It's just that simple. So it's not a tax. It's just, come on, man. A tax is all encompassing. A tariff is not. Thirdly, it's a thing of national security. Fourthly, when we open up the world to free trade, as we did after Nixon went to China in 1974, what has happened to the average American wage, or the median American wage, since we got rid of our massive manufacturing? It's just barely kept with inflation. What's happened with the price of housing? It's jumped up significantly. We've exported our manufacturing, we've imported cheap labor, and the price of housing has gone up. The price of everything has gone up because we have much more people competing for the limited resources that we have. Supply and demand. The demand's through the roof. Supply has gone way down, and people are wondering why we have so much housing cost. And yet the jobs that we have are just barely keeping up with inflation, and yet the price of housing is going well above inflation. Anyway, tariffs are not a tax. It's mind-boggling. And look, I used to be a free trade guy in Austrian economics. I studied that in college. I have Mises, Hayek, all these, freaking Henry Hazlitt, all these guys, man. I mean, Bastiat, I don't know if you consider him an Austrian, but still, I've had all these guys. I'm drawing a blank. There's another guy missing, but I might even go to the Austrian Economic Symposium in Auburn University next month with Tom Woods. I guess it's this month, because I like it. But in this case, they're just wrong. It's a national security issue, and it's an income security issue for American working people. All right, God bless. We'll see you.